In this short video, I'm going to show you how to set up an LLC in the state of Florida. There are 5 steps that need to be followed to get your LLC set up. Step number 1, you need to identify a name for your Florida LLC. Now, this name needs to be checked against the Secretary of State's database to make sure that it's not a duplicate of what has already been registered by another party. If you're planning to sell the LLC, you may choose to go ahead and set up any name here, whatever name is readily available. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day because you'll be selling it anyway and it will no longer be in your possession. Step number 2, you'll need to choose a registered agent in Florida. Now, for LLCs that you plan to keep, you'll want to have a registered agent, and I'll show you how to find one in Florida. Registered agents are the contact person for the state to notify of legal notices and other documents that need to be served to you. You can serve as the registered agent, but I highly recommend getting a third party to do that for you. For the LLCs that you end up selling, you will not need a registered agent externally. So in other words, you will not need to hire an external registered agent. You will be able to put your name on that and then transfer that name to a new party that will file an amendment to that registration, that LLC registration. Step number 3 is to file the Florida Articles of Organization. This is an online process. I'm going to walk you through that video here in just a moment, and you'll see the way that that's done. It's a very simple, straightforward, easy process, but please keep in mind that the state of Florida currently has a backlog of these. Right now they're working on July 16th's filings, and here it is Monday, July 29th. So as you can see, there's about a little less than a half month backlog. So be prepared for that. Step number 4, you'll create an operating agreement. I'm going to send you an email with an operating agreement template in it, and that will suffice as a tool that will keep you legally defensible, but most importantly, give structure to the LLC. And then step number 5, you'll need to obtain an employer identification number from the Internal Revenue Service. I'll walk you out to show you how to do that on their website. It's a very easy process, can be done in under 5 minutes. So these 5 steps need to be followed, and that's what we're going to showcase today. All right, let's get started. First, you want to go out and check and see if your company's name has been already secured. And to do that, you're going to do this on the search.sunbiz.org website. This is the state of Florida Department of State website. Those of you that are familiar with it, great. Those that aren't, this is where you'll want to point your browser. And you'll be going into the corporation search by name function. As you can see here, Department of State, Division of Corporations, and then search records. That is the path that you'll take. So if I back up for a minute, here is the main page you'll get to when you go to dos.myflorida.com. Okay, and that's the Department of State page. And then on this Department of State page, you're going to drill down into the Department of Corporations. Okay, so it'll take you to that next level. Now you can click right up here on offices, and you'll be able to see all the different offices that exist here. Okay, so you can drill down into the level that you want to get at. Corporations is also up here as a quick link, so if you click on corporations, it will take you into the sunbiz.org page, which is ultimately where you want to be, and then you can go into New Florida LLC to start your LLC. But if you want to search for a company that already exists, then you can go into the search function within this tool, and it's right up here at the top. It says search records. Okay, so when we go into search records, we want to search specifically for LLCs. Okay, we want to search specifically for LLCs, and we're going to search by name. So if we click on name, then we can type in a name. Let's just say Ocala Properties. And when we search Ocala Properties, you can see that it has been taken several different times. And the status over here on the right-hand side tells us whether it's inactive or active, or this is a name adjustment. So notice that there's one here that is active. There's a couple that are active. This one is a Call of Properties of Marion County, and it is different from a Call of Property.LLC. Okay, and this one down here is a Call of Property Group and Holdings and so on and so forth. So we probably would not want to use this name. Instead, we're going to go back and we're going to search on a new name. And I would give your name of your LLC that you're planning to sell the name of the street that the property resides on. That's probably the easiest and likely the less taken option. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Search for the name, come up with a name first, and then once you've done that, then you need to go into your dos.myflorida sunbiz.org area, okay, just like I showed you. And here you're going to complete your online application, okay? And the way you complete the online application and file your company is right here, Articles of Organization. If you click that, it will give you a PDF that you can download. But over here it says e-file now. Just click the e-file button and do it online. It's a lot easier that way. And when you go into this, they're going to give you information, and you're going to need to have a form of payment ready. Okay, probably a credit card. And when you click on this file or correct Florida LLC's Articles of Organization, this is where you're going to file for a new LLC, but this is also where you're going to modify it once you sell it. Okay, so keep that in mind. And here it's giving you a disclaimer, common stuff. Don't freak out about this. It's just common disclaimer stuff, legal stuff. And the right side is if we're going to correct an article of organization. The left side is if we're going to file a new one. And so we're going to start filing a new form. And when you go into this, it's going to ask you a bunch of questions. Now look, it costs $125 to file the LLC, okay, to get your articles of organization, to file it, make it a legal entity. I also recommend getting, this certificate of status as well. If you don't know what that is, just click here on the box and it'll tell you. And it just says that it certifies that your limited liability company is in good standing. Now, normally you wouldn't have to do this, but I recommend it because you're planning to sell the LLC with a business, with a property within it. So you may want to get that so that you can show the other party that it's in good standing. And you're going to put your effective date in. So what you may want to do is to say, okay, here it is, July 29th. Let's make my effective date August 1st. Okay. And I want a copy of this certificate of status. And then I'm going to put my company name in here. So let's just call it ABC Properties 123. Okay. And then comma LLC. Okay, just like that. And then you're going to put your principal place of business. This is oftentimes your physical address. No P.O. boxes here. They don't like P.O. boxes. So this is your address that you live at. Okay? And your mailing address here. Now, up here on the principal place of business, if you happen to have an office, which 99% of real estate investors don't have, then you can put that address there. You could also use the address here if you have a secured mailbox with a physical address, such as a UPS, mailbox, for example. So, but otherwise, just use your personal address there, and then your mailing address will likely be the same. Okay, and then down here, it's going to ask for registered agent. Now, again, like I said, a registered agent is required in almost all states, and it's required because the state needs to know that there's a point person that they're going to serve legal notices and other things to ensure that that gets to you. Okay, so down here, you're going to put the last name, first name, so on of the registered agent. Now, if it's you, because you're selling this LLC, so this would be you for now, and then the new owner of the LLC can make a determination of whether they want to be or not. But you're going to put your name in here, okay? And if it is a company, let's say you go out and you hire a registered agent company, then you'd put their name down here and leave this top name blank. Okay, and then you're going to fill in their address information. So notice that this is not overly difficult at this point. It's pretty straightforward. Okay, so that's really the gist of it. Now, if you need a registered agent, this site here is really good. It's called FloridaRegisteredAgent.net, and it's $50 a year, and it's not difficult. All you do is go online, you pay for it, you get their address. Basically, they become your registered agent. Okay, and and they tell you how all this stuff works down here. So you may consider doing this for your own LLCs that you plan to keep. But I just wanted to show you this resource because it's their information that would go into this area right here. Okay. Now down below here, this is just provisions, and you don't have to necessarily fill this out for this purpose. It's purely optional, as this clearly says right here. It's optional. So a lot of times you can add additional things to your LLC. Now, if it's an LLC that you're hanging on to and you're going to be putting property within, you may have some special provisions that you're going to outline there. Okay. Notice of annual report. It says this limited liability company must file an annual report with the Division of Corporations between January 1st and May 1st of every year to maintain active status. Okay, and the fee to file an LLC annual report is $138.75. You need to make sure that that's done every year, and you need to know that it's going to be $138 a year to file, to renew your LLC. Okay, if you don't do that and you try to renew it outside of May 1st, then they're going to hit you with a $400 fee. So you don't want that happening. Okay, down here on correspondence name and email address, that's going to be your information for now. You'll sign it. Okay, a little further down, this is an electronic signature, by the way, in these yellow boxes. The same up here for registered agent. So if you're putting your name up here, you'll sign as the registered agent. Okay, down below here, name and address of person authorized to manage the LLC. So this is going to be you. Okay. And then it says entity name to serve as manager. So this could be an entity that's managing this LLC. It doesn't have to be an individual. In this case, it's going to be you. Okay. And then remember, whenever you sell this, all this is going to change. All this stuff is going to go in and be modified. Okay. It's a very important step. You don't just sell the LLC and not go in and modify this, because it keeps you in the LLC and it makes you liable for anything that new owner will be doing within the LLC. Okay, so all of this is straightforward information. There's no surprises here whatsoever so far. Okay, so you're going to just want to work through this systematically. And notice they give you a lot of room here for additional members. You only need to fill out the first box. You're the only member. Okay, and then you can scroll down here to the bottom and click continue. And that's where it's going to take your payment. So notice this is all straightforward stuff. You might as well fill it out online versus filling out a PDF document. Get it submitted and get it sent in so it can be processed, okay? And then once you've done that, you can go out to the Internal Revenue site here. This is irs.gov, and you can find your EIN link here. Okay, so you can search for it, or an easy way to do this is to just back up here for a minute. Let's just go to irs.gov again, let it reload. There we go. Up here at the top, you can just type in EIN and do a search on that, and there it is. Apply for an employer identification number online. And this also is a very straightforward process. It doesn't require a lot of work. It says all this stuff like determine your eligibility and so on. You'll be eligible. You just click online and you're going to go ahead and be taken into this tool that will allow you to file for your EIN. You begin the application, and here it's important to understand that most of the time in the world, partnerships are limited liability corporations, limited liability companies, I should say. They have a separate category for that, so pay attention. You're going to click that, click continue, and then down here, they're telling you what it is and what it isn't, okay? Well, that's what you just filed for, so you know that it is. How many members are in the LLC? Right now, you're going to put 1. Okay, the state or territory that the business is located. You're going to go ahead and put that in there, okay? And so on and so forth. So you're just going to follow the prompts here all the way through, and it takes less than 5 minutes to do this, and you'll have your EIN number emailed to you in the form of a letter and certificate. Okay? Doesn't cost a thing to have the EIN issued. It only costs to get your LLC registered. So I hope that this helps, but if you have questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Always happy to help with those questions and help you work through this process. At any rate, there's, once again, just a recap in closing here, these 5 steps you just have to follow, and the operating agreement will be sent out to you via email so that you can see that and complete that if you like. All right, thanks for watching. Talk to you later.